There are three key things you need to know before Spear Mace. How to spear attribute swap. Yes. Obviously Macing, which includes this, just regular Macing. So you need a base, and you have pretty fast reaction time. You can be good at aiming with the spear because one battle, suddenly you're not going to be able to like that. It's a lot easier to hit when it's higher up with like Spear Mace. For example, I prefer to Spear Mace using Olympus 3 because it's just easier to track. But most kits come with Olympus 1, so that's not possible. But the three things to know before Spear Macing is obviously how to mace, how to attribute swap, and understand the concept of Spear Macing. I'm going to explain everything you need to know in this video. The first thing is spear attribute swapping. For this, you need to have hotkeys. If you don't, then you're not going to be able to do it. So, for what I suggest for hotkeys is, well, what I use personally, I'll show you, is my spear is in 7, so it's the front mouse button, in my shield, which I use to swap to, is in 8, which is the back mouse button. So it's the same 2 fingers, but it's really easy to do because it's all in the same hand. It makes it incredibly easy. I never shot that so much. Oh, and another thing you need to know. Where you're looking when you do a dash matters. I didn't think so at first too, and I was going like this and I was moving. When you do this, it's a lot more like. So if you're say this far away from someone, go straight ahead then look at. But if you're close, like this far, you want to be going down. It's not going to sink into the ground, but it will stop you from way overshooting them. Like, no, that was horrible. That was like that. It just stops you from overshooting, which I didn't know when I first started, so that's really important. But once you get good hotkeys for attribute swapping, it's really easy. I really do suggest these hotkeys. It becomes so easy to do it. I rarely miss one. Rarely, that's just me. And also what I suggest for practice servers is the one that I'm currently using, which is made by Waldberg. I will link it in the description. If I don't, come and punch me. Because I really need to remember to. Another thing, you also need to know how to attribute swap between your mace. I'm not that good at it. With my sword, I can, but also with your spear, which is more difficult because if you miss, then that happens. So remember, you can swap early because the spear has a long range, so you can swap early. So say you're like, this is important because say you're like this far away from someone, the spear can still hit them from here, but your mace obviously can't. So then you can just attribute swap to the point where you're closer, because we'll probably be running for a while. It makes it so much easier because it gives them less time to get away. That's pretty important to be able to do. You don't need to do it that high up. Being able to do is pretty important. Alright, sorry about that. My recording cut out. That was weird. But another key thing to know before you try to Spear Mace is just general mace. You need to be able to do it. I don't suggest learning everything. Like, you don't need to learn how to light your mace or something like that. Just learn how to Spear Mace. That was really important. also stuff here. So, okay, I got a elytra because my sword is right next to my elytra key. So I factored a lot with it. But it's not necessary. That's stuff you don't learn. But being able to do that's really useful for Spear Mace because it gives you a lot of height. I'm also doing that. I screwed that one up, but then there's always, of course, you can always try to save it. It's really hard. You have to hit it. How do I keep that? You're kidding. Sometimes that will happen. I don't know how it happens. And also the reason that works is just because wind charge is faster than Pearl. So it catches up to it. That's it. So that's pretty useful. But you also need, besides like the attributes, you need an understanding of like how it like works. It's a very fast-paced and movement-based combat style because you're like you're dashing around, launching up into the air. That's why like only a few people are like really good at it because we're so new. So there's a few things that you need to understand as well. But the best way to Spear Mace is like a practice map like this. Like the best ways to practice is going on a Oh, I just remembered. You need to know how to stun slam. He's not shielding right now, but if you want, I'll show you. But you definitely need to know how to stun slam. I completely forgot. But no, you definitely need to know how to stun slam. The ways you can practice Spear Mace, I'm going to break it down into a few simple steps. First, practice attribute swapping. Once you master that, you'll be able to master Spear Mace really easily. Second, just work on Mace in general combat. I don't know why this Shaman Flip. Oh. Spear Mace can almost catch up to it. Someone who's really good at Spear Mace can almost catch up to a Pearl. Oh, that was the first time I double dash off a wind charge. That's actually the first time I done. Just so you know, double dash off wind charge. It's kind of hard because you have to get that wind charge. But you need to just also don't really think while you're Spear Macing, just react. There's not enough time to think. Because if you're falling down from, say, a wind burst 1 instead of 3 that I use, no, I'm just thinking he's got time to react, so you don't know if you're gonna attribute swap, you're gonna dash it down. You don't know any of that until you actually do it. So just stick with your stuff and you'll be able to get up. Just move people experiencing because this is a video. I'll be able to post a video tomorrow, but I have to go somewhere and start the server stuff. Post lots up. Never mind that. So this is a rushed video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. If this helped you Spear Mace, comment and recommend it. Thank you.